Hedlund with Brandon Dillard in the peanut field at the Wiregrass Research Center. Thank you for joining us today for our first virtual field trip. We're going to learn lots about peanuts, and I hope you can join us the next three weeks for some other crops that are going on right now. We're in the middle of harvest season, so again, if you could, for me, if you have trouble viewing me, go to View Speaker up in the options. It should say a view little box, and then hit speaker, so that way my video pops up as the center video. Also, if you just joined us, if you're a teacher, please put your school name, what grade, and how many students are joining us from your classroom. But first, we have a short little video that we're going to show you a little bit about peanuts, and thanks to Alabama Peanut Producers for putting it together. Alright, so we hope you enjoyed that little video with the process pretty much from seed to harvest and to your table. Maybe you've been eating some M&Ms lately, some peanut M&Ms, and it's likely those peanuts came straight from down here in the Wiregrass area of Alabama. So Brandon, tell me, what do you do? What's your job?
I'm currently employed with Alabama Crop Improvement, and so our job is to make the peanut better for the farmers, to make the farmers more profitable.
You farm too though, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Alright, so where do peanuts come from?
Where do peanuts come from? That's a good question. Quick story, when I was in college, I had a class with some people up north, and they thought peanuts grew like pecans. They thought they grew on trees. So now as kindergartner through third graders, you know more than they knew as college students. You know that peanuts grow under the ground. So peanuts come from plants grown in the soil.
So is there just one type of peanuts? How many different types of peanuts are there?
Well, we grow in the United States 4 different types of peanuts, and they all have their different purposes. Valencia peanuts are some that the big ones we boil that you might get on Friday night or Saturday at a football game. We have Virginia peanuts, and if you ever go to a baseball game and you get those big salted peanuts, we have those types. And then we have Spanish and runners. Here in Alabama and Georgia and Florida, we grow runner type peanuts. And those runner type peanuts, we make candies like those M&Ms we was talking about a while ago, and peanut butter, things like that, candy bars and so forth.
So, you know, a lot of people say a peanut, but is a peanut really a nut?
Peanuts are called many things. My favorite is goober. That's my favorite. We call them goobers, but they're called ground nuts, grass nuts, all types of things.
All right, and what food group do peanuts belong to?
Peanuts belong in the meat food group. Very high in protein.
Yes, good for you. All right, and how's peanut butter made?
Peanut butter is made by crushing up the peanuts, and I believe that to be called peanut butter, that what's in that jar has to be 90% of peanuts, and then they add a little bit of sugar and some other things, but 90% of what's in that jar is actual peanuts.
All right, and it's interesting fact too that it takes over 540 peanuts to make a jar of peanut butter, 12-ounce jar of peanut butter.
That's right.
All right, so what about the average farm here in the United States of peanuts? What's the average farm size?
Peanut farmers are usually pretty small because it's so labor intensive. I think the average peanut farmer farms around 200 acres of peanuts. Now that farmer will also farm cotton, cattle, things like that, but because peanuts are so laborious, we do a smaller amount of acres of them.
Okay, now Brandon, looking here in this field, to a lot of people, these peanuts are dead. They're like, why do you let them get brown? Tell us what's going on here.
Okay, so the video kind of showed the process of we go in there in those green vines and we dig them, and what the farmers call inverting. And what that means is we turn them upside down. So if Mr. Cedric could maybe show you some on the ground, you can see those peanuts are sticking up in the air. And what we're trying to do as farmers in this case, excuse me, is dry those peanuts. And we want those vines to dry, and we want the peanuts to dry, get all the moisture out of them. And so the peanut combine, which we'll see run here in just a minute, it takes those vines to be pretty dead and pretty dry so that it can separate that peanut from the vine.
And what'll happen if they don't dry properly?
Well, two things can happen. The combine won't separate them, and therefore the peanuts will go out and land back on the ground, and then they're no good to us as farmers because we don't get paid for them there. The other thing that might happen if they don't dry, if we do get them separated and they're high moisture, it costs more money. It talked about that airflow flowing through those trailers. It costs the farmer more money to get them dry that way.
And here, can you eat them raw, just like this, out of the field?
Oh, absolutely. I've been eating them all morning.
Yeah, I saw him pick a few minutes ago. And pop
Yep,
them raw.
they're very good.
But a lot of people like them boiled too, which, you know, some folks from up north don't know what boiled peanuts are. Do you like boiled peanuts?
Absolutely. That's one of my favorites.
Yep, me too. I'm going to make me some on Saturday for the ball game.
That's right.
All right, so tell us about the equipment here.
Okay.
This way.
So what we're looking at here, we're looking at a tractor and the peanut combine. And so, if you'll walk this way, when we look at here, the header, you can see the fingers as he drives down the road. It's going to suck it up into this peanut combine. And there's a lot more fingers in there that's going to, basically, if you can imagine, it's just taking fingers and ripping those peanuts off the vine. And then up here at the top is the basket. And through airflow, that the peanuts will go up into the basket, and out the back, the vines will land on the ground.
All right, so we're going to see this run here in just a second. Brandon, is there anything else you'd like to tell the kids about peanuts?
Well, once we get the peanuts separated from the vines, a lot of times you'll see farmers, they will roll in and bale the hay, bale those vines up and feed the cows. Very good, nutritious hay for the cows to eat.
So what are some other things that peanuts give us other than just the hay, the byproducts?
Yeah, and we'll talk about that when we get through showing. We'll talk about shelling the peanuts and things like that. We'll talk about some other products of the peanuts.
All right, we're going to crank this tractor up and see it in action.
All right, so now I'm going to show you This is behind the peanut combine here. You can see it did a really good job, especially these vines aren't the dry. You can see how green they are. We want them a lot drier than that. But it did a really good job of separating the peanuts. So that's one thing a farmer would do. He would get out and look and make sure he ain't got a bunch of peanuts still on the vine. So peanut combine's doing a really good job there. So we'll talk about the next step after you saw the peanuts in the basket. That's a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches going in there right now. I think I read where the average American eats 3 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches a month. So
That's a lot of PB&J.
that is exactly. So I eat my fair share of those. I probably eat 3 a week. So I'm lifting that number up some. But so the next stage, you see that these peanuts are in a shell, right? So we've got to get those holes, what we call holes, off. So we've got to shell these, and as you can see here, that's what that peanut looks like. That's a really mature peanut, really full. All right, so that's what the process looks like there. We'll shell those peanuts out, and then they can use them for oil. They'll use them for candy, peanut butter, whatever. But we have a bunch of these holes left over after we shell them, and we don't waste those. We use those. The holes will go to things like chicken houses for the bedding for chickens to lay in. Okay, so we'll use those holes for things like kitty litter. We'll use it for insecticides like for like ant baits and stuff that you spread in your yard, things like that. Like I said, I don't know if you heard me, chicken houses, they'll put those crushed holes in the chicken houses for chickens to lay on as bedding. So we use those, we utilize those holes as well as the peanuts. And like I said earlier, we'll utilize those vines as peanut hay for the cows. They really love it. It's really good food for them.
What about some things, a lot of people like fried things. You use peanut oil from peanuts. Well, Chick-fil-A uses peanut oil.
Exactly.
Maybe your funnel cakes at the carnival are fried in peanut oil. So
exactly.
There's a lot of things we get out of the peanut other than just the meat.
Yeah. That oil is very important to us. The oil from the peanut is very important. Fried fish is very important for us to have that oil.